This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. Today, I'm very lucky to be joined by Lydia Des Dolles. So, Lydia, we saw each other on, I think it was Saturday for the Cameron versus McGee fight, and you were covering that for Fight Connect TV.
I was there as part of Fight Connect TV. We were covering the events with Matchroom. So yeah, it was really good. We did a great show.
And when the show finishes, do you just grab whoever's available sitting around for an interview?
Yeah, just, as soon as they finish the DAZN production, it's pretty much like a free-for-all. Whoever's there, you can just grab whoever is available, whoever you speak to. And there's always such good people there as well, because there's like people that are part of the fighters camp or their teams, or other fighters that are there to support and stuff. So it's really good.
Yeah, I was there. I was sitting near the ring. It's just crazy how all the fighters sit around. I mean, Conor Benn was a few seats away from me, and then Fabio Wally was sitting down. It's kind of quite weird. But what do you kind of got coming out for Fight Connect TV? Because I see you're in the first Exchange podcast studio.
I'm in my studio, yes. It's the only place that has good lighting in our office, so that's why I'm here. But I've got loads going on at the moment. Obviously, I've moved from Ireland to the UK. I'm part of Empire now, which is the kind of the holding group that looks after Empire Pro Tape, which is the pro tape that's on all of the fighters' gloves, which has been around for years and has a very high reputation within the sport. It's also part of Empire Fight Store, which is like boxing equipment and apparel. One Empire Management, which is a combat sports management company, and also One Empire Media. So that's where Fight Connect TV would fall under. And then the First Exchange podcast falls under that as well. So I am in the office during the week. I'm working on, planning their schedules and stuff for Fight Connect TV, organising interviews, booking events, different things. And then I'm also working on the management side. And then I'm also working on the Fight Store side as well. So I kind of do work a pretty normal 9-to-5 job during the week. And then on the weekends, obviously I'm traveling for shows and different things. So it's pretty hectic, but it's what I wanted.
Yeah, it sounds pretty busy. And since you moved here from Ireland, what are the main differences from the UK and then Ireland then?
Well, I'm in South Yorkshire. This is where our office is. So the accent obviously is the big thing, and how they say things. They don't say lunch, which I have not gotten used to yet. They say dinner for when you want to eat at 12 midday at noon. I'm like, you're having lunch? And they're like, no, I'm having...
Lunch is midday. Lunch is 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock time.
See, me and you are the same. Lunch is midday, but in Yorkshire, lunch is dinner. And your dinner is your dinner. So you have dinner 2 times per day. They also like to say stuff like, when you say myself, they say mysen. So, mysen, myself. So I'm adjusting to their way of speaking, and their lack of using the word lunch. But it's not been too bad, to be honest, because I moved here. Obviously the opportunity of Empire coming on board with Fight Connect TV was kind of presented to me during lockdown, the first lockdown, which is obviously a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So at first it was kind of a thing of, okay, can we have the vision and work on all these projects while I'm in Ireland? And it just, with lockdown, with traveling and stuff, it was going to be a nightmare. And then Dean Sheriff, who is the kind of overall boss of everything, he said to me, look, why don't you come to where we are, give it 6 months, see how you get on, and let's see how things go. And I have been here 6 months now, and I feel like I've been here much longer. I settled into life here very easily. I'm busy, I'm working. So for me, it definitely was the right thing to do to move over this way.
Yeah, it seems quite nice. I never knew that they said lunch for dinner as well. Dinner is 2 times a day. That's quite odd. So
there you go.
So last week, I think you announced to be in the new Esports Boxing Club game, and that's quite a major announcement. Kind of went viral over Twitter for the gaming and boxing gaming industry. How did that kind of come around then?
It was very organic, actually, how it came about, Fred. I think the response to the announcement that we're going to be sponsored by Esports Boxing Club going forward, that Fight Connect TV is going to feature in the game, and that I'm going to be working in a capacity with interviews. Obviously can't say too much, but I'm pre-warned not to, I can't give away any information. I know people are really hungry and desperate for any sort of like, you know, information on what's happening, but yeah, like it basically happened because obviously Dean Sheriff is from Empire is working very closely with the guys from ESBC. So it was just pretty much an organic, you know, conversation, just, you know, relationships within the two companies and stuff that it came about. So I'm delighted. I'm thrilled. I you know, it's a huge deal. I'm very grateful for the opportunity from ESBC and the guys from Steel City. And, you know, from what I've seen of the game so far, it's not like anything I've ever seen before. I know people are eagerly waiting the release of it, but it will be worth the wait. It is absolutely phenomenal. They've done an incredible job.
Now, are you going to be in the game doing the kind of post-fight interviews then?
I can't answer.
I thought you announced on your Twitter.
Yeah, I will be in the game. I will be in the game. There will be interviews, but I can't give any more information. I would love to be able to tell you, but I can't.
Yeah, I understand. Still confidential. And for the release date, what are you thinking then? I spoke to Lyndon Arthur. Yes, yeah, it was yesterday, and he was saying that it's most likely going to be sometime next year, 2022.
I mean, genuinely, I'm not just saying this. I don't know anything about release dates. Quite, you know, like it is so confidential. There's so much that's going on behind the scenes, and I only know my part. You know, I don't know anything about release dates or anything like that. I think we can all safely say that it's not going to be out this year, you know, because we're at the end of the year. But you know, I'd love to see it out next year. But whenever it comes out will be the right time, because there's a reason for, you know, if it's taken that much time, there's a reason for it. So I think for me, I want to see the best version of the game, and we have to wait and see.
Because you know what happens when you bloom in accidentally say something, or the title of the video, and then some people. I'm very
conscious of how like the gaming community works, and you know, when I put out the announcements, I didn't think it was going to get the reaction that it did, and you know, like it was, people were analyzing, you know, every word that was said and different things. So that's kind of a little bit scary to me, and I have to respect the team at ESBC and at Steel City, because they've been working so hard on this project, you know, and I'm a tiny little piece of it. So I'd love to give information if I had it, but I actually don't. But just know that it is phenomenal. We put out on Fight Connect TV, we put out the behind the scenes from Steel City Interactive, and like you can see with Jamie when he's shown Deontay Wilder, and like the close-ups, and like how it actually goes down to his exact pores, you know, his tattoos. And the girl in the video, her name is Rose, you know, she's like on the animation team, and she was like going through about how they actually get the tattoos, you know, the motion capture and different things. It's incredible. I got to sit with her, and she showed me like other projects that she was doing away from ESBC, and how they actually break it down, and you know, how they do all the modeling on the bodies and the movement and everything. It is absolutely incredible. Like it is phenomenal what they can do down there. So it just lends itself to how good the game is actually going to be.
Yeah, I saw the picture of Wilder on the screen in the video. It does look very, very realistic. And do you have any idea why it's been kind of quite a long silence from Esports Boxing Club? How you haven't heard anything for a while? They've got something big coming up then. I
mean, I don't know.
No comment. You're going to say no comment.
No comments. No comments. And I'm very conscious that you're probably going to put something about ESBC in the title, and then they'll be like, do not talk about ESBC.
If you want me to cut anything out, you can just send me a message. There's one more thing I want to touch on. Okay. Obviously, the First Exchange podcast. You're going to get Ryan Rhodes, Todd Grisham on it at all?
Say that again?
You're going to get Ryan Rhodes or Todd Grisham on the First Exchange podcast and talk about
Todd Grisham will be coming on the First Exchange podcast, but it's obviously just about his schedule and timing and different stuff like that. Ryan Rhodes 100% will be on the First Exchange podcast. He'll be on it very soon. But again, it's about scheduling. Very lucky that, you know, with the team that we have here, one in particular, Jamie Sheldon, who I know you've had on the show. is obviously worked in boxing for 20 years. He's cuts, he's worked in corners with some of the biggest fighters. So we're very blessed that he has access to these fighters. So anyone who I haven't met or I don't have a relationship with, he's on the phone, like, can you come in and do the podcast with Lydia? So there is an incredible lineup of people. We're actually just doing a kind of a little refurb at the studio at the moment. So that's why we're taking a little break. But Ryan Rose definitely will be honest. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Ryan's a really nice guy. But what about Jamie Sheldon? I spoke to Jamie. He's down to go on the podcast. So
he won't come on my podcast.
He will?
He said he'll go. He'll go on Tony Value's podcast, but he's not coming on mine.
He seemed quite happy to go on your podcast though.
I think with Jamie, we work together, we sit next to each other, we're like a family now. We're like, it's kind of that like family unit. And I think it's kind of with the podcast, I don't know, he's just like, I don't want to do it. I think he's embarrassed or nervous to do it, because he knows that I'll try and extract information from him. But no, he is going to do it. It's about time. And again, he's not here today. He's in Newcastle with our fighter, Tommy Hodgson. So no, he will be honest. I just have to twist his arm a little bit.
Yeah, he's telling me there's quite a lot. He's been around a long time. So he's got quite a few stories. That's the thing. Yeah,
exactly. I said, listen, you've done Fred Talks Fighting, so you're going to have to do the first exchange.
Yeah, of course. All right, Lydia, I think too much of time today. Thanks so much for your time. So where can people find you?
No problem.
Where can people find you on social media, Twitter, and if you want to shout out or anything?
On Instagram, it is Lydia Des Dolles, Fight Connect TV. On Twitter, it is _ Lydia Des Dolles. For some reason, Twitter shut down my main Twitter account. They suspended my account. I have no idea why. They said it was copyright, but I don't know why. So I set up a new Twitter account and they shadow banned me. So I think I'm on like a 7-day temporary suspension. I don't know, it's something to do with my name, but I'm like, free me from Twitter jail. So it's at _ Lydia Des Dolles on Twitter, and then YouTube, obviously it's Fight Connect TV, and Facebook it's Lydia Des Dolles and Fight Connect TV as well.
Awesome. I'll put the Fight Connect TV link in the description. Right, Lydia, until we'll catch up soon then. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Fred, and it was lovely to see you at the weekend, and I hope I see you at more shows.
Of course. Thank you, Lydia.